Welcome to the Political Matrix News. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the political matrix. Well, once again, that time has come for the folks here at the Political Matrix News to get together. Rob Milford is here, Scott Miller is here, Greg Fink is here, and a guest to be scheduled later. We don't have that name, but it may be somebody famous. You're just going to have to go with it on this. I tell you what, I have been snowed under. Not with politics, but with watching the Olympics. I find myself to be a couch potato of the first magnitude going, hey, wow, that was a nice dismount. And it's the only time in 4 years, every 4 years, it is the only time you get to say reprecharge. No, that's not right. Anyway, it's a French word for this is the group. You want to talk about the politics of the opening ceremonies last Friday?
Oh, wow.
Here, everybody together.
Was it awesome?
Do this.
It was awesome.
It was so French. It was disgusting.
Theater.
Well, for me, it was just a key example of the gaslighting that the left is famous for. Because, I mean, they'll sit there and provoke, and then we complain about it and say, oh, wait, why are you being so hostile? Why are you being so defensive? What's wrong? I mean, and to suggest that they didn't think that looked like that was the dinner of Dionysus instead of the Last Supper is just ridiculous. Why would they care about Dionysus? First of all, I think honestly, who is the Pat McAfee, who's a former punter for the Indianapolis Colts, I think, and now he's a commentator for ESPN. I think he really nailed it when he said that regardless of your feelings of the politics of it and all, it really just needs to be about the sport. And these opening shows just need to be about the athletes and not what amazing art project we can put together, because invariably art, especially really good art, tends to be provocative. Yeah. So if you're provoking people, you're distracting from from the athletes, and people may decide to not watch the Olympics at all because you insulted them, like they have.
Exactly.
Yes,
I mean, we have
true.
Ceasefire has already pulled their advertising. And Ceasefire is one of the largest telephone carriers in the United States. They pulled their advertising. I think they're the only ones. But I mean, the whole idea here is that this left group, I mean, they seem to think they can insult everybody and anybody and just get away with it. There's no repercussions at all. There's no consequences. It's ridiculous.
But they don't want to get away with it. They want people to react so they can, like I said, gaslight them and say, "Well, why are you being so overly sensitive?"
I mean, the whole maturity level here is so low and so small. I mean, it's bewildering. I mean, watching that and to think that people weren't going to get angry about it. I mean, I think the Vatican's a little pissed off right now. I mean, several nations in Europe who are very Catholic, extremely Catholic,
including France,
a lot more so than America,
including France and Spain and Portugal,
are very angry about all of this. I mean, we even have left-wing actors like Rob Schneider. I think he might be center wing now, but I mean. He's an old comedian, Rob Schneider, from Saturday Night Live and all this stuff. He's actually coming out against the Olympics, and quite a few other actors are starting to come out about it. I mean, it's totally ridiculous. I mean,
they're actors.
Ridiculous.
They're actors. I don't care.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. When actors are offended by it, you're going too far.
Here we are. We're 5 days post opening. The U.S. People are complaining in the U.S. we're not winning enough gold medals, but we're winning a lot of medals.
That's true.
The Summer Games, I mean, we can't win everything. Who do they think we are? Russia? China? I mean, it
should be America.
The vast majority of the Olympic athletes have a job or they're going to school. Okay? They're not state sponsored. While the U.S. gives money to the U.S. Olympic team, it doesn't pay everybody's bills, if you know what I mean. Now, with the marketing and merchandising they can do, we see all the athletes, not all, but a few, in the commercials. They get paid for those commercials, and that money does what? It goes in to pay their expenses so they can train more. That's where it's all about. Now, when I'm still getting calls or text messages, emails, hey, that guy that was in the fashion show on the bridge with the Last Supper or the Festival of Dionysus, did you see that guy's balls hanging out? Nah, I kind of missed that. one of the first things I said, "Oh wow, guy in his part."
Yeah, Neil Crotches is not a point of my focus.
No, I really was distracted, but this was from a coworker who said, "Can you believe that stuff?" And I went, "Nah, okay, it's the French, okay? It's the French. They thought Jerry Lewis was a comedy god, okay? Germans think David Hasselhoff is the greatest American singer since Elvis Presley. So there's just no accounting for taste." Well, it's true. It's true. It's what everybody.
I'm with you.
I mean, the French are a little bit gaudy when it comes to this kind of behavior already, anyway.
A little bit. La petite, mon ami.
La petite.
Yeah, but you really have to look at the summer of 2024, and I mean, we're almost toward the end now of the end of summer of 2024. And I was talking to somebody today. I think this is going to be one of the most historical summers, by far. I mean, between assassination attempts and resigning of current presidents and the political stuff and the Olympics, and I mean, we had storms and everything else. I mean, it's been a very interesting year.
Well,
for sure so far.
We'll see. The latest. Speaking of storms, I saw this tidbit today. The climate researchers now saying this has been the driest period. The last 5 to 8 years has been the driest period in the history of the American West, going back 1,200 years. 1,200 years. Now, of course, the West Coast is suffering. Do you know why? Because the East Coast has had to do away with coal-fired power plants. We've had to suck it up with solar and wind. And they can't have coal-fired power plants. They want to get rid of all the gas turbine electric generators. But mostly the West suffers from all of the downwind blowout from all of the coal power plants in China. While we were having this conversation just now, they opened another one. You know what they're going to do tomorrow? They're going to open another one. So just be prepared. They don't give a crap. Don't see in the Paris Accords, they rate it as a third world nation. They don't have to go by the same rules that the U.S. does. Nobody has to go by U.S. rules. Nobody. It's a way to punish the U.S. So when Trump says, screw those regulations, screw that Paris Accord, rip it up, and it's going to go back and forth till nobody remembers what the argument was about. Like that start.
People think that Trump's accomplishment during his term was his tax cuts, and that was supposed to be his economic benefit. But the reality is his greatest economic achievement during his was the massive deregulation. He just started clipping regulations right and left. And a lot of the economic benefits we saw were due to the immediate ability of companies to start doing things that they had never done before. Exactly. Not because they were protected from the environment or anything like that, but just because you couldn't get a ruling one way or the other, because you had rules that one rule would conflict with another, and you didn't know which rule you had to follow.
I mean, it's like they literally took their boot off the throat of the small businessman and allowed the small businessman to grow. And that is what basically Biden put the boot back on immediately once he got elected.
Yeah.
So we're going to see, hopefully the next time around, we'll see the reversal again.
Yeah, you know what the size of a small business is? Any guesses? Scott?
I think it's less than $5 million.
No. Personnel-wise, small business.
Personnel-wise.
Oh,
300.
50, something like that.
And you're at 50, and Greg is where?
Well, I think between like 20 and 300 or something like that, or
it's actually 500. 500 is a small business. So as long as you only have 498 other people working for you, then there's you. You can't include your mama in the payroll, but as long as you do that, you can get all that small business loans you want. Bing, bang, boom, no problem. I've got a friend who does political work, and he's a small business, and he, for the 14th consecutive years, managed to lose money, which is really pretty impressive. The other things we are continuing to talk about, Greg, do you want to do a whole separate segment on the conspiracy theory around the assassination attempt?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do a whole segment about that.
We'll do that. All right.
We will bloviate for a while on that.
Yeah, because, I miss Don Snowden. We're just going to leave it at that.
Okay. Well, John Morgan, did you get the audio I sent you?
Yeah, I did, but I was not able to download it. And so, basically, it was not able to, it's in the iHeart. It's in the iHeart platform.
And you can't dip that. Oh, I thought you could.
No, iHeart. All right. Well, I'm not an iHeart member.
I'm an iHeart guy now. I didn't want to be, but I had to, and my radio broke in my car. Okay, in that case, it'll be a much shorter segment because we'll talk about it right now. John Morgan, who is known to everybody here in Florida from the law firm Morgan and Morgan, but I've known John so long, more than 30 years, that I remember when it was Morgan, Colling, and Gilbert. And he came to speechify in Pensacola, I think, before the 2012 election. And we, at the time, there was great belief that he would be running against Rick Scott in 2014 for, against Rick's second term, but also that he was pushing the legalization or the decriminalization of marijuana. That will be Amendment 3 coming up this year. John is a staunch liberal and has given many, many, many millions of dollars because I don't know if he's a billionaire, but I'm thinking he's pretty damn close. He's got, I don't know how many hundred lawyers chasing every ambulance this part of the world. His wife and both of his sons are lawyers, and they do work as well. So he was on a local radio here in Orlando, WFLA 540 AM, and they asked questions. This is last Thursday, I guess, after Biden dropped out, and what he thought. And he said, this is absolutely a race to the bottom. Absolutely. He said, I don't like either of the candidates. And he said, he quoted me, which was wonderful. He said, this is a big country, and these are the two best people we can do. He said, I'm not interested. There's nobody running that I want to vote for president. And he was no longer going to contribute one damn dime to the Democrats.
What did he compare them to?
He said, basically, it's a race to the bottom.
Well, he also said he compared them from dog poop to horse poop.
There you go. That was it. Thank you for reminding me of that. And they were trying to decide which was better to step in.
Exactly.
And I think the consensus. I've had dogs my whole life, but I'm thinking my consensus feeling, or theirs, was at least cow, because it's easier to scrape off your boots.
Right, cow, yeah.
And I know that Scott, being a good old boy from Baker, Florida, riding herd on the ranch up there and so forth, he's stepped in more than a little bit over the years.
More than a little bit, but you know what? On a nice cold morning, there's nothing that feels better on your toes than a nice warm patty.
No, it does not. Okay, because I had that happen when I was 6 years old. I was visiting my uncle's farm, and he said the same thing. No, there's a lot of things that feel better. A lot of things feel a lot better.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things that smell better, but when your toes are freezing, it's something to do.
That might be true. It is toasty. Why
are you guys running around barefoot in the field? That's what I want to know.
Well, because we grew up in farms. We both grew up in farms. My dad was a county agent. I grew up working on a lot of farms with my dad and everything. And all my uncles had cow farms and pig farms and tobacco farms, and Scott the same way. Scott, we both came from the farming land.
From the Redneck Training Center in Santa Rosa County.
Exactly. Well, I was in, Union County, Swanee County over here.
Close enough. So that'll wrap that segment. Don't forget, we're here at the Political Matrix News. If you like us, we'd appreciate one of those checks. If you would like to share us, rip it out and say, can you believe, and just slug it, can you believe what these guys are saying? And then you can also subscribe, and for a limited time only, it's a free subscription. But when we get famous and everything else, we're going to charge at least, I don't know, $5 a year probably. Yeah,
you can say, I knew him when.
But you will get it for free in perpetuity, or until our sons take over all of this and blathering on about how Hillary Clinton's granddaughter is running for the presidency in 2058.
Chelsea's daughter?
No, Chelsea's, there's a grandson and a granddaughter, I believe. So,
oh, really?
I'm not
good Lord.
Wow. I never want to see a Clinton. I never want to vote for a Clinton. I never want to hear a damn name of Clinton. Hillary, serious. They may well have called Joe Biden last weekend and said, hey, we'd like your endorsement to run.
That's actually another thing. People are asking Chuck Schumer, what exactly did you say to Joe Biden? And he's like, I don't really want to talk about that. Republicans are weird.
Did you hear
Republicans are weird. Yeah, that's the narrative this week, right?
No, I love the inside story that what really forced Biden out, Nancy Pelosi had some polling done. I want to definitely talk about polling when we come back. Some polling done that she withheld. She showed it to Biden and said, hey, we can't win. You cannot be reelected. The Democrats cannot win. You've got to do this for all of the down ballot stuff that'll get people back voting Democratic. And so that was it. I don't know that she said it had to be Kamala, but we'll talk about that coming up on the next adventure of the Political Matrix News.